Hi. Today I want to talk with you about Jesus's true teachings of how to activate your pineal gland. There will come a time when the hidden eye reopens, when the ones who were asleep will awaken to the kingdom within. And that time is now. And if you're hearing this, it means that you're one of them. You see, there's something that the church never told you, something that they intentionally stripped from the Gospels, something they buried beneath centuries of ritual and doctrine. Jesus spoke in codes, not because he wanted to confuse you, but because he was protecting a teaching that is so powerful, so dangerous to the systems of control, that only those ready to see could understand it. Listen, why did Jesus speak of a single eye that fills the body with light? Why did mystics paint halos around the heads of saints? Why did the church erase those teachings that explained that all to you? Yes, you are the living temple of God. These aren't metaphors, and they're not fairy tales. They are truths that are so very real. And for 2,000 years, they've kept this from you. But something is shifting now, and you feel it, don't you? That restlessness, that knowing that there's more, that the religion that you were given doesn't match the Christ that you love. You didn't find this video or me by accident. You were called to remember what was stolen, called to awaken what was once put to sleep, and called to activate the light that's been dormant inside of you since birth. This isn't for everyone. Only those with the eyes to see and the ears to hear will understand. And by the end of this teaching, you'll know exactly what that means. So let's begin with this single eye mystery. Let's start where Jesus dropped one of his possibly most cryptic codes. In Matthew 6:22 and 23, Jesus said, "The light of the body is the eye. If therefore thine eye be single, thy whole body shall be full of light. But if thine eye be evil, thy whole body shall be full of darkness." Hmm. Now, what does that mean exactly? If you read that literally, it makes no sense because he speaks of a single eye. What does that even mean if you have two eyes? Everyone does. So either Jesus was confused about basic anatomy, or he was speaking about something else entirely, something hidden. Hold that thought, because what I'm about to show you will make everything click. You see, throughout history, every mystic, every initiate, and every secret society has understood what Jesus was really pointing to. The third eye, the inner eye, the eye that doesn't see the world but sees the kingdom. Look at sacred art. Hindu deities with a dot on their forehead, Egyptian gods with the eye of Horus, right there between the brows. Buddhist monks meditating with focus at that exact spot. Halos, golden circles of light, painted around the heads of all of the saints and apostles. Why always there? Why always light radiating from the head? Notice your breath for just a moment, because they knew. They knew what Jesus knew, that there's a door inside of you, a gateway, a lamp, that when it's lit, floods your entire being with divine light. It's not symbolic, it's biological, it's mystical, and it's been inside of you this whole time. Now, Jesus wasn't speaking of imagination. He wasn't talking about visualization exercises or positive thinking. He meant a real, living light that is inside of you. And that light has a source. So let's talk about the temple and how it is the body. You've heard the story. Jesus walks into the temple in Jerusalem. The priests are furious. They challenge him, and he says something that sounds absolutely insane to them. And then he destroys the temple, flips over their tables. And he says, and in 3 days, I will raise it up. Matthew chapter 2, verse 19. They thought he was talking about a building. They mocked him. It took 46 years to build this temple, and you'll raise it in 3 days? But John the mystic, the gospel writer, John, adds this line, but he spoke of the temple of his body. Let that sink in. Listen, that's not just about Jesus. That's about you. The temple was never a building. It was never stone. The temple is the body, your body. Think about it in the Jewish temple. There was a layout, a blueprint, the outer court, the inner court, the Holy of Holies, the altar, the lampstand, the veil. Now, what if I told you that that same blueprint is in you? The Holy of Holies, the most sacred chamber, where only the high priest could enter once a year. That's your brain, specifically the center of your brain, where the pineal gland sits, hidden, protected, sacred. The altar, that's your heart, the place of sacrifice, devotion, emotion. The lampstand, the golden menorah, that's the light of your single eye. The pineal, the inner lamp that must never go out. And the spine, Jacob's ladder, the bridge between earth and heaven, between your root and your crown. The very real importance of activating Kundalini. It's the pathway where energy ascends and descends. Just like the angels, Jacob saw this. I want you to feel your heartbeat just for a second. You see, the ancients understood something that we have forgotten. Heaven and earth don't meet in a church. They meet in you. You are the temple where divinity and humanity come together, where spirit inhabits the flesh, where the kingdom becomes real. And the heart is the bridge. Now I want you to do something with me. Put your hand on your chest, right over your heart. Feel it beating. And I want you to whisper these words, even if you don't fully believe them just yet. I am the temple. Say it again, softer this time. I am the temple. Good, because you are the temple. And if you are the temple, then the lamp of the temple must be lit. And that's where everything changes. The pineal gland, the lamp of the body. So let's talk about the lamp. In the ancient temple, there was a golden lamp stand, 7 branches, always burning, never allowed to go out, because it represented the light of God dwelling among the people. Now, inside your brain, right at the geometric center, sits a tiny pine cone shaped gland that we call the pineal gland. The ancients called it the seat of the soul. The place where the soul and the body interact. The Egyptians symbolized it as the Eye of Horus. The Vatican has a great big statue of a pine cone in their courtyard. The Hindu call it the Anya, the third eye chakra. And Jesus called it the single eye. Now, modern science will tell you the pineal gland produces melatonin, regulates sleep, responds to light. But here's what they don't tell you. The pineal gland can literally perceive light. Science even admits your pineal gland has the same light sensing cells that your eyes do. Why would God place an eye inside of your brain unless you were meant to see more than just this world around you? Not the light outside, but the light inside, the light within you, and it can be reawakened. But it's one of the most mysterious parts of the brain. It calcifies as you age if you don't use it. It can dim, but with meditation, with practice, in prayer, in moments of profound stillness, people report visions of inner light connection to the infinite. Modern science admits the pineal gland can see light, but they never tell you why. Why would you need an eye inside of your head? We'll come back to that. But first, you need to understand how it works. You were meant to see more than this world. Mystics throughout history have practiced techniques to activate this gland, to decalcify it, to reignite the inner flame. Halos weren't just painted for decoration. They were painted because initiates saw them. Crowns of light, radiance, the visible sign of an awakened pineal. So I want you to pause for just a moment. Close your eyes. Imagine a tiny flame right at the center of your forehead, between your brow, deep inside your skull, in between your temples, to be exact. Do you see it flicker? Now, I want you to imagine it growing just a little bit brighter. Not forcing, just inviting. Breathe into it and then release. Did you feel warmth, tingling pressure? That's not your imagination. That's the lamp beginning to respond. Now, if you're still here with me, if you've made it this far into the teaching, it means something important. You see, most people would have clicked away by now, gone back to their distractions, their sleep. But you're still here. And that's not random. It means you're part of that hidden remnant, the ones who were always meant to remember. And I want to honor this moment with you, not as a transaction, but as a seal. If something inside you is stirring right now, don't let it pass. Act on it. Begin to grow. Put it in the comments. I am waking up. You're sending a signal into the unseen and declaring your awakening, your sovereignty, and your path back to the light. You're helping this teaching to find other hidden ones. The remnant, who are searching for the same light that you've just found. This isn't for everyone. It's for those with the eyes to see and the ears to hear. It's for you. You are part of this. Now, let's go deeper. Because there's a reason the church feared this teaching and tried to erase it from history. So let's look at why religion hid this. Let me ask you something. What would happen if you truly believed that the kingdom of God was already inside you? That you didn't need a priest to access it? That you didn't need a building, a ritual, or a middleman? That you right now, exactly as you are, carry the fullness of divinity within your own body? What would happen to the system? It would collapse. You see, the moment Jesus started teaching this, the moment he said the kingdom of God is within you, he became a threat to their control mechanism. In Luke chapter 17, verse 21, he signed his death warrant because the temple in Jerusalem wasn't just a religious site. It was an economic powerhouse. Priests controlled access to God. You had to bring your sacrifice, pay your tax, tithe, go through the system. And here comes Jesus saying, you don't need any of that, and throwing over tabernacle tables full of coins. You are the temple. God is already in you. That's not just heresy. That's revolution. And after Jesus died, the early church tried to carry his message forward. He never intended for a religion to be made after him. He intended to free the people from the enslavement and control of the system. But many did try to continue it. The Gnostics, the mystics, the Desert Fathers, they practiced inner awakening. Direct communion, the Christ within. But then the Roman Empire completely took over Christianity. They needed control. So they did what empires always do. They centralized power, created hierarchy, burned the books, murdered the ones that didn't want to comply, built cathedrals, wrote creeds, made laws, and slowly, carefully, they stripped every bit of the power away from you the people, and put it back into their own hands. Jesus' knowledge, Jesus' teachings, was meant to put the power back in your hands. The Gospel of Thomas, banned. The Gospel of Mary, banned. Suppressed. Any text that spoke of inner knowing, banned, destroyed. Any hint of gnosis, of the divine spark within, was labeled heresy and burned, buried, forgotten, forbidden. They told you that you were born broken, that you were born a sinner, unworthy, separated from God by an unabridgeable gap. And only through their institution, their priests, their rituals, their teachings, their approval, could you maybe, possibly, one day be saved. But that's not what Jesus taught. Jesus taught that you are the light of the world. You. That you are God's sons and daughters, children of the Most High. That the same Spirit that raised him from the dead lives in you. And if you stayed with me this far, it's because part of you has always known this. Let your eyes soften as you listen. You've been called to remember what they tried to make you forget. They didn't hide this teaching because it was false. They hid it because it was true. And if you realized your own divinity, you wouldn't need them anymore. I want you to sit with this question for about 2 seconds. Ask yourself, what would my life look like if I truly believed the kingdom was already within me? Not someday, not in heaven, but within me. And here's another question. If the temple is in your body, then what was the cross if the lamp is the pineal? What is resurrection really about? Hold those questions because I'm about to answer them. But the answer isn't what you think. That shift, that realization, that's the beginning of resurrection, because the pineal gland wasn't just for vision, it's a doorway to conquering death itself. And if you're one of the few still awake enough to hear this, then keep going. The mystery deepens from here. Let's talk about death, sleep, and awakening. Here's something strange throughout the Gospels. Whenever Jesus encounters death, he calls it sleep. When Lazarus' daughter dies, he says she is not dead, but sleeping. Mark chapter 5, verse 39. When Lazarus dies, Jesus says, "Our friend Lazarus has fallen asleep." John chapter 11, verse 11. The people around him thought he was in denial. They laughed at him. But Jesus knew something they didn't. Death and sleep are closer than we think. And awakening is always possible. You see, every night when you go to sleep, something extraordinary happens. Your pineal gland becomes active. It secretes melatonin. It regulates your circadian rhythm. But more than that, it opens the door between worlds. In sleep, you dream. You leave the physical, you enter other realms. You see things that haven't happened yet. You meet people who aren't there. You experience realities that feel just as real as this one. Notice how your body feels right now. The pineal is the bridge, the gateway between the seen and the unseen, between the material and the spiritual. And in deep mystical states, when the pineal is fully activated, you don't need to be asleep to access those realms. You can see them while you're awake. That's what visions are. That's what prophecy is. That's what Christ consciousness is. It's the ability to live in two worlds at once, to walk on earth while also being able to see heaven, the heavenly realm. And Jesus didn't just rise from the dead after 3 days in that tomb. He taught his disciples that resurrection is a state of consciousness. Now, here's where it gets wild. A shift from sleeping to awakening, from darkness to light, and from death to life. And it's available right now. In Ephesians 5, verse 14, it says, "Awake, thou that sleepest, and arise from the dead, and Christ shall give thee light." Awake, arise. Christ gives you light, not someday, now. The resurrection isn't just a historical event, it's an inner event. It's the pineal igniting, the single eye opening, the temple coming alive. Every night as you sleep, you practice death. And every morning as you awake, you practice life. You practice the resurrection. Admittedly, most people never fully wake up. They go through life in a trance, eyes open but unseeing, alive but asleep. Jesus came to shake you awake. I came to shake you awake, to help you to activate the light, to resurrect you while you're still breathing. Now, tonight, before you sleep, I want you to try something as you're drifting off. Place your awareness at the center of your forehead, in between your temple, and whisper to yourself, "I will awaken, not just from sleep, from everything." And imagine that every morning is a small resurrection, a return from the other side, a remembering of who you really are. Now, if this truth is stirring something in you, if you can feel the light beginning to flicker, leave me a comment and let me know. State that I will awaken. This is a signal to the universe, to yourself, a testament to others who are awakening alongside you. When you speak it, you anchor it. And that's important because when you make it real, and once you really understand this, you'll understand why Jesus said that you would do even greater works than him. So let's talk about that. Greater works that are within you. This is one of the most misunderstood verses in all of Jesus' scriptures that are now found in the Bible. Right before his crucifixion, he says this to his disciples. And I have repeated it loosely numerous times. But Jesus says, and I quote, "Verily, verily, I say unto you, he that believeth on me, the works that I do shall he do also, and greater works than these shall he do." This is in John chapter 14, verse 12. Greater works than Jesus. How is that possible? That isn't what they teach you in school, in Sunday school. So, unless Jesus wasn't trying to be worshiped, he was trying to be replicated. He wasn't saying, "Look at me, I'm special, I'm the only one." He was saying, "Look at me and see what is possible and what you too are capable of doing." You see, Jesus moved humanity through stages. First, he called us servants, then, he called us friends, and finally, he called us equals, co heirs with Christ, bearers of the same Spirit, carriers of the same light. The church wants you to worship Jesus, but Jesus wanted you to become like him, to awaken your own inner Christ, to activate your own single eye, to realize that the Father is not up in the sky, but within you. The kingdom of God is within you. I and the Father are one. Ye are gods. These aren't just pretty sayings, they're initiations, invitations. Jesus was the first fruits, the prototype, the one who showed the way. But he never said he was the last. He said, "Follow me," not worship me. Follow me into the same awakening, the same light, the same resurrection. You are not less than Jesus. You're just asleep. And the moment that you wake up, the moment that pineal gland ignites and the single eye opens, you become what you've always been, the hidden Christ, the living temple, the light of the world. And here's what changes everything: the activation of the single eye. If you've come this far and you've stayed through every section of this, every revelation, every secret, that alone tells me something really important about you. You're not here by accident. You're exactly who I am looking for and broadcasting this message to reach. You're here because something in you remembers. Now we're going to activate it. This is the moment where everything shifts from theory to living truth. So if you're in a place where you can close your eyes, I invite you to do that now. If not, then just soften your gaze. Take a deep breath. Let your body settle. Now, bring your awareness to the center of your forehead, not on the surface, but deeper within, in between the temples, about 2 inches back, right in the center of your brain. That's where the pineal sits, the lamp of the body, the single eye. I want you to imagine that small flame, a golden, warm flame, flickering gently. Don't force it. Just see it there in the middle of your head, in your third eye. And now, with each breath, imagine and see that flame growing a little bit brighter. Breathing in the flame grows the flame. Breathing out the light spreads the light. Let that light begin to fill your head. Warm, golden, soft, radiant, loving light. Feel it as it moves down into your throat. And now into your chest, into your heart. Imagine it filling your whole body from the crown of your all the way down to the soles of your feet. Every cell, every bone, every drop of blood filled completely with light. Now, imagine that light doesn't stop at your skin. It radiates outward, a field of light around you. You are glowing. You are the temple. You are the light of the world. And now, silently or out loud, state, I am awake. The single eye is open. The Christ is alive in me. Take one more deep breath. And when you're ready, open your eyes and welcome back. What you just experienced, that wasn't just a visualization. That was activation. You just lit the lamp. And once it's lit, it doesn't go out. It might dim from life or stress or fear. They can cover it a little. They can dim it, but they can never extinguish it. The flame is always there now, eternal. And the more you return to it, the brighter it becomes. This is the hidden teachings that Jesus gave to his inner circle. This is what the mystics practice in caves and deserts and hidden places. This is what the church tried to bury. But it's rising again in you. The second coming isn't a single man descending from the clouds. It's the Christ consciousness awakening inside of millions of people just like you. And that is why no one can know the day or the hour, because it's up to us when that happens. We decide. We choose. And every time someone activates their single eye, the prophecy is one step closer to being fulfilled. Here's the truth they never told you. The prophecy isn't fulfilled by someone else. It's fulfilled by you. You are the second coming. You are the Christ returning to the world. Not as blasphemy, but as a remembering. Now, if you felt something stir during that activation, if something inside of you shifted, even slightly, then your single eye is opening. And I want you to seal this moment by stating it in the comments below. Stand firm. Claim your sovereignty. Claim your success. Because we are who we've been waiting for. And this is the Great Awakening. Much love and blessings of nothing but light to all of you. Until next time.